Hey everybody, Circus here coming at you with the new Power Rankings video. Joining me as always is Kamell. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? I am doing great, and I'm excited to talk about the rankings this week.
Yeah, and joining this week is a new friend of the show. He's a 17-year veteran of the TCG. His name is Hero XGP. How you doing, buddy?
It's me. It's me. It's XGP. What's going on, guys?
Well, we're excited to have you here. This is gonna be your first video with us, so let's get right into it. So if you're new to the video series, basically what we do is we track decks throughout the week, see how they do in tournaments, and then we award them points based on how they fit. All right. So the tournaments this week that we tracked were Battle Phase Monday and Friday, the God Tournament, the Meta Weekly, the Warrior Link Masters Meta Weekly, and the Pharaoh's Cash Tournament. Now, a deck, if it wins first place, it gets 6 points. If it gets second place, it gets 4 points. If it's a top 4, it gets 2 points, and a top 8 is 1 point. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's take a look at the list here. Topping the list, I'm surprised. A lot of people probably aren't because it's been a hot deck lately. Heroes, knocking Dark Magician out of its top spot. Dark Magician, number 1, 2 weeks in a row. Drops dramatically. Heroes. What's up with that, Kamel?
Well, just this week specifically, the few hero players that we do have in the community, because remember, Heroes is a really expensive deck now because of the use of selection box cards in Stratos. So there are few hero players, but this week specifically, they have been popping off in tournaments, including the WLM tournament that we just got finished streaming. Eric's won Battle Phase Monday. It also won the Meta Weekly as well, and the WLM that just concluded. So Heroes are on a roll this week, and I think that people have been playing them because they have pretty good matchups against most of the tier list decks. It just outmaneuvers their win conditions very easily.
What do you think, XGP? Are you surprised by it?
I was a big hero player in the TCG, but the variant that people play, the Vision Hero with Stratos and a few Destiny heroes, it has so much potential to mass change and dodge something, or with the Vision Heroes it can dodge effects, and a lot of effects now, like there's some stuff that targets, some stuff that doesn't, but almost everything in the format that's in the meta anyway is dodgeable by heroes. So if they have a full hand of spells, you can't lock anybody down, and that's just how they keep getting over stuff.
Exactly, and the deck list is really concise. I feel like it's extremely hard to brick with heroes as opposed to, another deck on the tier list like Cyber Dragons or Thunder Dragons. You can find yourself bricking with those decks a lot more. Heroes, there's always a way for you to at least get to that point where you can start dodging your opponent's threats successfully. And you just have a bunch of different stuff that you can use. Trinity 5k attack, Anki attack directly, blast. He has so much utility. So I'm glad more people are playing it and doing well.
Yeah, they're starting to boil the deck list down because people have tried form change and plasma and some other really unique things. But the list is really starting to get boiled down to almost its perfect form.
I'm actually starting to have flashbacks here because if you've been playing Duel Links for a while, Heroes been around. They were one of the top decks for like a year straight.
10 months. 10 months, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess all the fanboys are happy. You get to use your Anki again. Your mass changed, so all that money you put into that box a long time ago. Second place this week, Invoked Element Sabers. That's a perennial favorite here on the tier list. Last week it was 4, here it's number 2, so a little bit of movement. What do you think of that?
So firstly, you can see Element Saber did not pick up a tournament win this week at all, and that's a huge factor as to why it's lower this week. Also, if you watched the previous Power Rankings video, we were talking that Element Saber was doing very well because of its really great matchup with Shiranui. And it started doing well because Shiranui the week before was doing very well, but both Shiranui and E-Sabers have somewhat fallen off, as of late, right? We did see the shift to Dark Magician being in the front last week, but now Element Sabers are not seeing so many decks with good matchups against them in tournaments. So That's why we see all these top 8 finishes, 4 top 8 finishes in some tournaments. That is the highest E-Sabers is going. Also, just because more people are on that Dark Magician hype train, they're not playing a deck like E-Sabers, which is the other deck people go for when they just want to win tournaments
They
really
just want to win.
fast.
That's what I was going to ask XGP. Do you think people are just trying something different? Are they getting kind of tired of just playing the same deck over and over, maybe?
The extended period between boxes is definitely changing what a lot of people are doing. They either are playing the same thing the entire time and getting really, really good at it, or in tournaments where people have side decks, people are siding and putting in different techs to try to stop different decks, and then the decks that are being countered try to counter what the opponents are using to counter them. So it makes it to where things fluctuate a lot, and sometimes you'll bring the wrong counter to the wrong tournament because that deck literally won't be there. That's why, like, a lot of people were running only 2 Cyclones. A lot of people are only running 2 Cyclones when they could be running 3. But there are Thunder Dragons running around that don't use back row. So a lot of the different techs and things that people are using is really modifying how decks are finishing because everyone's trying to get one step ahead.
Right.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about the correlation with the box. Great point.
Well, this week we see quite a shakeup too, because you mentioned Thunder Dragons. I know they dropped a little bit here. They were second place last week. They're like 7th place this week. So like you were saying, things are just changing. Like so this week you're like, oh, I'm worried about Thunder Dragons. I'm not going to bring all those Cyclones, but this week you could have and been fine.
Yeah, like a lot of people have like a Realm Mage's worst thing ever is for them to get Black Rosed. And a lot of Realm Mages that didn't get past top 32, but a lot of Realm Mages weren't even getting Black Rose because people have stopped running it. Because no one's building a gigantic board because they know Black Rose is a threat. So why would you play Black Rose if people aren't putting out big boards anymore? It's a cause and effect thing.
That is definitely a deck that's got quite a following behind it. All right, moving down the list. Shiranui in 3rd place. It got a win this week.
Yeah, man. It did get a win, but look at the rest of its representation.
Not a lot.
Top 8. Just 3 top 8 or better finishes this week. And I think that goes back to what XGP is saying. People have been playing Shiranui for months as it was one of the best tournament decks at the time, and it has not changed at all. People are getting more creative with their techs to stop Shiranui running cards like Chain Disappearance. That card became very popular as of late. Void Trap Hole as well is also a card that hits every single Shiranui boss monster. So there's been a lot of text surfacing recently that a lot of these other decks on the power rankings can use efficiently to just destroy Shiranui.
Yeah, and if people aren't maining it, they're citing No Mortal Can Resist as part of their sideboard,
just
and
kills
it just
them.
yeah, like Shiranui do great on ladder. They're amazing on ladder, but in tournaments, they have a wall of counters to face because everyone's running graveyard removal or graveyard negation.
But it's a very easy deck to get, so it's going to stay represented, I think, for until it gets nerfed. Basically, people can get it, or it gets power crept, right? The next one surprises me in 4th place, Blackwings. Blackwings.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Well, I think Blackwings are becoming a lot more powerful right now just because I feel altogether OTK centric decks or decks that are like real powerhouses and establish very powerful boards in just 1 to 2 turns are kind of the meta right now. You know, the behind the scenes tournament meta, because what you essentially want to do is you want to establish what you can and just disregard your opponent's board entirely, right? You don't want to deal with a fully stacked Thunder Dragon board with hand traps and all that, or an Element Saber board with multiple fusion monsters. And Blackwings do that very well, right? If you don't establish a very powerful setup on your first turn, Blackwings will immediately turn 2 game you. And I think that's what we've seen in the tournaments, Battle Phase Friday especially. That's what a lot of the Blackwing duels were like.
Blackwings are very good. I like the variant that people are running now with Heavy Starter, because the things that they're running to trigger Heavy Starter are also 2 other good monsters. So they always have that one tech. Like we saw someone summon, I think it was Shura, is the 5-star?
Sakura the Dawn.
Yeah, he summoned him and made it over 7,000 attack. Like having that,
Yeah.
having having that as a tech in a deck to get that big to where not even Invoker can save your Cocytus, that's insane. The deck has a lot of tools that people have not used in past builds, but now thanks to Heavy Starter, they're being more flexible, and that's what's helping the deck a lot, in my opinion, is just like running the Necro Valley, having the 2 extra monsters.
All right, moving along, 5th place. Deck I hate. A lot of people love it. The reason I hate it is because I'm Cyber Dragons.
Dragons. Now, I predicted Cyber Dragons would be pretty high up on the power rankings last week, and it got our last talking point at 5th this week, and it was 5th last week, so it didn't change. But I think a big factor as to why this deck didn't soar in popularity is because this week the Dark Magician hype train kind of failed. It ended, right? And Cyber Dragons, a lot of people were playing Cyber Dragons this week anticipating to go up against a lot of Dark Magicians and have that favorable matchup, but the Dark Magicians were not out in the same numbers as they were in the previous weeks. But Cyber Dragons are still doing what they do best, setting up really consistent turn ones with explosive follow-up. And a lot more people were playing them this week. They got 4 top 8 finishes, a runner-up, and a top 4 in the Meta Weekly. So I hope to see them more next week.
If I was playing in tournaments and I had to play against them, I would side in Security Orb. That way when they pop it, I get to destroy their monster. How do you like that?
Yeah, Cyber Dragons are super consistent, and the thing is they're like a 3-trick pony. They can do 2 or 3 things in a game normally where they go, okay, blow up, fusion, and then they're out of gas. But in that time, you pretty much get OTK'd most of the time because you got a 2100 coming in 3 times.
Good, yeah. That explosion's outrageous.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to handle in a best 2 out of 3 format, especially with side deck. Like that's just like super heavy Sams. Like the amount of power that those decks have in one turn, but it only takes 1 card to disrupt them.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what we're starting to see, like Cyber Dragons often are falling victim to either 1 card or the off chance that they brick. I think that's what most of the Cyber Dragon losses that we've seen this week in the tournaments have been attributed to.
Well, that's why Cyber Dragon, Super Heavy Samurai, those are great ladder decks. They're great best of 1. Come in, you don't know what you're playing, you set a field, and then they just come out and wipe you or just attack you directly. And it's, I guess that's over. But in a tournament format where you got the side deck, prepare for it, that's completely different.
Yeah, right. More power to the people that play like Cristrons and the stall decks on ladder. And each one of your matches takes 20 minutes. I'd rather get 100 in an hour with Cyber Dragons or Heavy Sands.
Real quick then, honorable mentions. Crystron's coming in at 6th place. They did get a tournament win. So Neg's going to be happy about that. I was surprised at how many people played the deck this week because it's the worst deck in the game and nobody likes it. But evidently it's the best deck in the game, according to some. Yeah. Whatever.
A lot of good players did play the deck.
But not too far behind that. I mean, Crystron's with 9 points. Stromberg got to win. I'm just saying.
Stromberg got to win.
I'm just saying. You can sit and play Crystron's and never figure out how the fucking deck works, or you can play an awesome deck like Stromberg and get a win. Just saying.
Oh my god. You've made it to the propaganda part of the video.
I'm just saying. Stromberg's just as good as Crystron's on paper now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think we should rename that deck to Grand Marchu de Isa Turbo.
There you go.
Grand Maju de Isa Turbo. That's one way to put it. Get in the Duel Links Entertainment Discord, guys. All of the events that we host that are on the Power Rankings, Battle Phase Monday, Battle Phase Friday, and the Warrior Links Masters Meta Weekly, you can enter all of those tournaments directly from the Duel Links Entertainment Discord. Link will be in the description. Also, yeah, talk with us in there. Ask us any questions you want. Topics for future videos. Let us know. We're always in there.
All right. Thanks, XGP, for joining this week.
I hope to do it some more. It was fun.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you later.